Now we're going to frame the two bathroom walls, which will come over to here, 5 feet, come out just shy of 7 feet, and then come across. In here I'm only putting a 3-2 door, 32-inch door, because I just don't have the room. But I'll frame these rooms in, then I'll put my headers in, my top plates in, my nailers in the 4 corners. We'll be done as far as framing goes. Then we can either buy some windows or we buy some electrical and go from that. Oh, because it helps have a pencil. So we got juice left in the battery. There's my top and bottom plates for the bathroom wall. Gotta love Lowe's lumber. Let's be straight from China. So again, this wall is all going to be laid out 16 inches on center. And I will tell you, you can run these, they're interior walls, white walls. You could run them 24 inches on center. But I don't like that. So I'll run mine 16 inches. Since this is going to be outside full length, the other wall is going to be inside these 2 walls. I'll have to factor in my nailer again. Because it's going to get stud at the end, which going to go right there, and 3.5 inches. Will be enough. So, mark
That's right. I don't have to do any real work now.
Get this out of the way.
Is that gonna fit in our bedroom?
Huh?
I was wondering if that was gonna fit in our bedroom.
Yeah. I gotta cut the top plate up here. Let me see if I can pick out 7 straightened up ones.
And the bad part is, Nick made him exchange a bunch of them.
Yeah. Alright, so what we've done, we've built this wall, as you can see, which is going to run across here. Now we're going to lay out the door, or the wall here, with the door in it. And what I've done, these are not nailed to the floor yet. But I went over and measured from the outside wall to this wall, outside wall over here. Make sure I was exact, so that I can measure inside this wall to the inside where I want my wall in. And it's 60 and a half inches, a half inch over 5 feet. So I've cut my top and bottom plates at 60 and a half inches, and now I'm going to mark it out. And you might be better off over there by the ladder. Not as much personal noise right here.
I know the problem is that light.
Yeah.
Alright.
Now I've got to lay out these boards. It's taking into consideration I want a 32-inch door in here. I got to lay out these plates. And the question is, do I want the door? 32-inch door, and if you remember from that door, I have to leave 2 inches. So I have to leave a space of 34 inches. And I think we probably want it right in the middle. Because the bathtub's going to go up against the outside wall. Then we'll have a vanity and a commode. If I want to put this directly in the middle, now remember I have 60 and a half inches. I need a 34-inch opening with my jack studs. So actually I need these studs set at 37 inches, because when I put my jack studs in, that'll drop it down to the 34-inch opening that I needed. So I'm glad I remembered my jack studs. So all I have to do is take 60 and a half inches, subtract the 37 inches from it, and guess what? I wind up with 22 and a half inches. So I'm going to come in 22 and a half inches. No, I'm not. I wind up with 22 and a half inches, but I have to cut that in half again. So, and 11 and a quarter inches will be where my first stud goes. 11 and a quarter inches from each end. And that puts me center. And I should have 37 inches in between there. This is why you double check. I have 38 inches. So, what did I do wrong? Oh. I need 11 and 3/4 inches in. Should leave me a 38 inch open. So I'll scribble those marks out. So 11 and 3/4. 37 inches. So my studs will go right here on the inside of that 11 3/4. Then my jack studs will go in next to them. That's a total of 6 inches. And that's wrong.
The wheels are turning. I can see the smoke coming out.
So you got to think about this stuff.
Measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you told Nick?
That's right. So, that would work. Again, I forgot about my jack stud. So, my king stud is going to go to the outside of my 11 3/4 inch mark. On both ends, it'll go to the outside. My jack stud will go to the inside of the 37 inches. The two of them equal 3 inches. That will leave me a 34 inch opening. So, when I mark it, I'm going to put an X outside that line because that's where I need the studs to go. And then studs on the end. And I need to cut 4 studs for this now. And it gets hot in this building.
I know, take a break.
I'm going to. Alright, just to remind you, because I've been talking king stud, jack stud, all this crap. This full stud here, that goes all the way up, is the king stud. This one with the header rest on is called the jack stud. That's what I was dealing with over there, was figuring out, my jack stud, king stud, where they had to go, so that I had my spacing right. But now, I'm going to cut the 4 studs that I need for this to build this wall. Then, I can set this one, set the other wall, make sure everything is square and level. Then, I'll show you how I do my top plates when I was talking about cutting the gaps and interlocking the walls so that they can't move independent of each other. Then you have all the walls locked into each other. So, I'm going to cut the studs now. We'll be back in a minute.
Alright.
Alright. So we put our walls up. Our other 2 walls. Everything is level. Everything is plumb. And we have a bedroom, which actually is not a bad size considering it's a tiny house.
Yeah.
Then, out of the bedroom, you have the bathroom, which is a tiny bit over 5 by 7, which will be, you can have a little, well, you can have a full-size tub and surround, if you wanted one, a commode on one end, a vanity on the other end. That's a bathroom. Shelving going up the walls, we went with a 40-inch shower, 38 by 40 shower in the corner. We put shelving along there. Have like a linen closet in here. So, it's plenty big enough. Bigger than I thought it was going to wind up being. And as per Gail's idea, this will be kitchen over here. This will be the kitchen area with a counter to eat at, bar stools, a counter for eating. So that way we can have a range, we can have a refrigerator, a sink. I don't even have to change out these windows. And then we'll have, in this area, we can have a couch, chair. We can run a couch along that wall, chair over here, mount a TV up here, or whatever. Mount the TV on this wall. See it from the kid. There's a lot of possibilities still, because I have 18 feet left over. this is set up inside there. What I've done is cut this top plate where I can nail it into that outside wall over here, and I can nail it into the outside wall over here. It runs all the way across. When I do that, this wall is not going to be able to move this direction at all. It's not going to be able to move this direction at all. And it's going to tie, these three walls are going to be locked in place. And my top plate over here, you can see where I've cut my top plate here on this wall, and it runs all the way to the end. It'll be tied in, runs all the way to that end, and it'll be tied in, and it'll be shot in here. So, and the same with that wall over there on its end. That's where I was saying I would like to cut into the top plate so I could lock these in, but I'm just going to scab a board onto it, which will tie me in. I'm closing this in anyway, so it's not going to matter if I run a small board across here and shoot it into the ends. But this is going to lock everything in place where I need it to be, and nothing will be able to move then, we hope. Wall, get it where I want it. Shoot my top plate in. Alright, so, you see that? Nothing will move because of the way everything's locked into each other. That's how, wow, it's so much cooler down here. That's how you lock in your walls. That's what the top plate does. And that's why you have top plates. Besides it, strengthens everything else so I can, build on top of that if I wanted to. But that's
Okay,
how you do the top plate.
You're standing in the wrong spot because you're standing right next to the light.
Oh. That's how you lock the top plates in. So now, it's a matter of just nailing everything in. And our walls will be as strong as they can possibly be. And they won't move, they won't hold anything up. I won't have anything out of square, nothing will move out of square. Everything is level right now and square. That's what we want to achieve in framing walls. But I think that's all I need to show you. I've still got, jack studs to put in, I do triple studs, headers. The headers are going to be, I have to have 2x8s. So I'm going to run two 2x8s in here for my door. And that'll hold anything I put on top of that. That's the idea of you have to put headers in your doors or over your windows so it can carry a load. I don't need 2x8s, I just have 2x8s here. So rather than go, I can do it with 2x4s because it's going to be such little weight enough, well, this span is pretty big, so the minimum I would go would be 2x6s to go this span. But I've got 2x8s on hand. I'll throw a couple of 2x8s. And you see people make headers with a piece of 1/2-inch plywood in between the two 2x8s. You can put a piece of 1/2-inch plywood in there and nail it all together to make your header. The plywood does nothing structural. The only thing it's there for is to make that wide enough. Your 2x8 is 1.5 inches. So you've got 2 1.5-inch boards, which will give you 3 inches. The width of these 2x4s is 3.5 inches. So when people use that and pre-drew their headers, that's just a spacer. That's to bring it out to the 3.5 inches. I'm going to shoot mine in, as I don't need to pre-build them. So I don't need that, I won't be putting that 1/2-inch spacer in between them. I'm just going to put a flush on the ends, shoot them in, and be done. That's how easy headers are, but they're very important, but that's how easy they are to do. But that's my top plate. These are our final walls now. This is exactly where everything is going, and I'm happy with how it turned out. And now it's a matter of deciding what do we do next. Do I spend money on windows or do I spend money on electric? We'll probably put windows in because I want some breeze in here. It is hot without a breeze. So I'll probably go ahead and get my end windows and at least get them set in next weekend when we get our perfect attendance bonuses at work. Put our windows in the end, and then the following payday, the electric box, wiring, receptacle panels, and start laying all that on. But that concludes my series on framing, interior walls in our tiny house. If you got any questions, ask me. Again, I will leave you with this disclaimer. As John Knoll says, I'm not a carpenter, I'm not in the trade, I don't do this for a living. I'm just a dude that can build some walls and wants to save some money, not pay somebody else to do it. And this is the way I do it. I think they're going to hold up for us, that's all we need. But this is Joe out of the tiny house at St. Bernard Acres. Gail is my cameraman once again, helping me put the walls out. And it's time to go home. Time to shut everything down and go home.
All right.
Saturday I'll finish nailing and do my headers. It's too hot to do any more inside here. Like I said, comment, let me know. Remember the drawing. It's going to be next weekend sometime, so keep an eye out for that. If you've got any suggestions on what I should do, let me know. We're open for suggestions. But we'll be talking to you later.